Hi, Remy.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to CONSERVATISH. I forgot the name of my goddamn show. CONSERVATISH episode 111. And you can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish, but really you should support hers. Let's see. Go download my album. I'm amazing. And humble. And it's available everywhere, just my name, Peter Feliciano, and that's all I have to... subscribe, like, all that stupid shit.
Yes,
and our guest
important.
today is Remy Kassimir.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I literally... No, this is a very...
That's just your delivery.
111?
111, yeah.
That's a really lucky number to me.
I was noticing that you have seasons of your podcast.
Seasons. Yeah.
I'm just a dumbass who just set it up like every week.
You can always change it. Your fans don't, mine especially understand that I need like mental breaks.
Yes.
Yours
is a very specific show.
It's very specific, and like we talk about like really intense stuff a lot of the season, or like season 1 was all about people giving me assignments and me having to do like sex stuff,
right.
which was great, but it's like kind of exhausting, and like
right.
I was like, I'm gonna need a break. And so yeah, right now we're in our break between 2 and 3,
right.
and we've kind of left off like Rick and Morty season 3 when they're like, all right, we'll see you, we don't know when, bye.
So okay, you don't even know when you're coming back.
No, I've been like recording with people and like banking episodes like with people who are like never in town, or like it's a really good get or something,
right.
and then like most of the other people that I'm like, okay, that could be like a really good episode eventually, but like we can do it later because we know each other and like you'll
right.
be around.
Right.
But yeah, this has been a fun time to just kind of like get back to stand up
right.
and like just be funny and work on my jokes and not worry if I'm, saying anything that's going to bother any of my listeners. 'Cause like that's a big part of it is like if I put out content, it's not a huge part, but I've said stuff that like has been kind of insensitive to them or whatever. And some of them have like reached out, but it's something that like I didn't realize was
right.
insensitive to someone. And
right.
then I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can totally not do that now.
Insensitive to someone specifically, or insensitive to a certain type of person?
A certain type of person. Like somebody wrote me recently and she was like, on episode 2 of season 1. And when I listen to season 1, I don't even recognize myself. That girl knows nothing. She knows nothing.
That was me for the first 110 episodes.
Amazing. Yeah, but this was me learning how to come. Like, and learning about like...
That's a big chapter.
Yeah, like I feel like I've learned about like feminism through the podcast.
Right.
Like I kind of had like this like internalized hatred of women before. Like and just very judgy and whatever. So a girl recently wrote to me and she's like, I admire you so much, and it really upset me that in episode 2 you said inverted nipples were gross. And I was like, yeah, I am really sorry. That like sucks
right.
if you have inverted nipples, because there's really nothing you can do about it besides
right.
like get them pierced if like you want to. But like, there's no problem with inverted nipples.
No, there
like
isn't. I was with a girl recently who had inverted nipples, and
ooh, this
it was
one's
actually
yours. Wait, let's keep.
No,
it.
I haven't.
You haven't had any?
No, I have my giant jug.
Oh, so you don't want it?
I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Both of those are for you.
Wow. Waters for
and-
Remy. Extra wet.
And I could if it was okay. If it was if it was. It was almost like a pride thing where I could make her nipples hard and come through.
Exactly.
Only mostly the right one, not the left one.
That's how I see it now,
right.
too, is like, because Napoleon Emile came on and we were talking about boobs and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, do you prefer hard or soft nipples? And he's like, I like watching the transition. Like, I like being able to see that, like, I'm turning you on. And what can you see more than with inverted ones? Because they've got more to go.
Right. And plus, it's the thing you can't change.
Right. Unless you get.
I mean, you were probably
still.
Were you going for a joke, or were you just like
no?
Statement
That
of
was
fact?
that was my opinion at the time.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What do you feel like that was? Do you feel like that was it genuine hatred? Was it jealousy of?
No, I thought there were very specific constructs of what constituted a beautiful woman, and I also thought things such as vaginas are gross. Blanket statement.
Okay. All right.
Like, those are things that I don't think anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm so proud and I love my vagina, and like I've looked at her a lot, and like,
You've done the mirror thing. And
oh yeah, it was one of the assignments.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So,
Yeah.
real quick, just to set everybody up.
Yes.
She's got a podcast called How Come.
Yes.
It's funny. Well, you explain it.
We've been teasing them with it. We're like, if you know, you know. But if
know,
you
you
don't
know.
know, you just
If you
have this
don't know,
underlying
fuck
thing
you.
of like, what sex shit
Die.
is she doing? Yeah, so I couldn't come, you guys. And not couldn't. I just had never had an orgasm.
Right.
And it was always something that I'd kind of been like, I wonder if I can. But also in like pop culture and the zeitgeist, all I'd been hearing from like stand-ups was like, oh, women don't like sex, women don't come, I can never make a woman come or whatever, like, because it used to mostly be guys.
Right.
And then when I started comedy, I started seeing all these women at my level, like, who weren't on TV yet, but they were talking about their orgasms.
Right.
And I would always go up to them after the show and be like, hey, that joke about the orgasms, that was pretty funny. And they'd be like, that wasn't the joke, part of the joke. Like, are you not coming? And I was like, no, I'm not. Yeah.
How old were you when you started the podcast?
I started it at 28, but that, like, I did all this realizing around 26, 27, and then it took a really long time to actually start the thing because a lot of the people that I would tell would respond with, like, shock and kind of, like, pity. And that was a really weird thing for me psychologically because I would just be like, oh, I must be like broken and different. Because like initially I just thought, oh, women aren't coming. And then when I found out women are, it's just not me. I was like, oh, this feels really weird and bad. And so after a show once I asked Esther Steinberg because she was like, you need to come, like, you need to go home and masturbate for like 30 minutes. And I was like, okay. But I still kind of didn't know what that meant. Like, I was always under the perception. I never believed that the clit was a thing. I thought everything was whole because the way that we learned sex education was, like, sexual intercourse. You know, like it's penis and vagina. Yes. I'm, like, from Manhattan. Yeah.
Okay.
I went to, like, a private school. Like, I don't understand.
This is a very liberal area. I feel
it's
like
super liberal,
you would be taught. Okay.
I think I just don't think.
I mean, I'm not asking those questions to like try to judge you.
No. I think like people were fucking and people were blowing each other at an early age, and guys would ask you in the hallways in like 7th grade, "Oh, do you finger blast yourself?" Right. But it wasn't. Oh, women need to masturbate just like men do.
Right.
It was like if a girl masturbated, she was gross, and also somebody literally did ask me if I finger blasted myself. Even in that kind of question, it's not the right mechanics, you know. So then whenever I would be trying to masturbate, I'd be like feverishly like stuffing my hole, you know. Like I literally like
a guy when he first goes
right. And so like I'd put like a condom on the end of a hairbrush, like stuff it up the hole. I got like a vibrating razor, put that up the hole, very thin also. Like none of that was gonna work, and I think there just wasn't the dialogue like between me and my friends. Like women were kind of
parents,
like
your mom, like
no, my mom always said, my mom cried actually after listening to the first 3 episodes because she was like, I thought I taught you. I thought you knew. Right. She always told me sex is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun for you too. Right. But she didn't say anything about orgasm. She didn't say also, hey Remy, did you know that you can come all the time and have another person not there at all? Right. Nobody told me I could masturbate. Like that wasn't. I'm going to get my kid, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the appropriate age is, but, like.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, no, that's.
At least tell them that, hey, eventually, if it's tough for you in your hands or the jet or whatever.
Yeah, no, I've dated a couple of women who talked about masturbating starting at, like, 4 or 5. I had a counselor once tell me that. What did she say? She said that babies actually masturbate like by like rocking on their belly.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying that I wasn't. I definitely had my hands down there all the time.
Did it feel
all
good?
The time? It felt great, and I was doing it all the time. But as I've learned, I have a smaller clit than most people, I think. Okay. And so what works for me is like this specific type of sex toy. Right. But I didn't know that there was a goal. And I've done it with my hand once, just to see if I could. Sure. I don't prefer to. It takes a really long time. Right. But I would be doing it, and then it would be like a really long time. And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm done now.
Okay.
Yeah.
where did we fail you? Like that's my that's I
Where-
guess my
yeah.
where did the educational system did that? Because I guess one of the things that I've and I know I'm super sex positive, and
Yeah.
anyone who listens to the show knows
Yeah.
I'm a big old fucking perv. But
Love
when
it.
it comes to like as an example, no judgments. I'm super happy for everybody if you're a male submissive, but a piece of me for some reason doesn't like those. I mean, I'm friends with male submissive, but I just don't. There's something in my belly that
Yeah.
just feels like you're not serving the like you're not like giving something. You know what I mean?
What
to,
do you
like,
mean with a male
to some-
submissive?
So it's just an example, meaning
Yeah.
like, how's the best way to put it? Like, I feel like it's doing some women a disservice, and it makes me it's something I talk about a lot. It's something I'm interested in a lot. Is the disservice angle, like, and so when it comes to, and obviously not all women are submissive,
Sure.
but from my experience, the general majority, if they had their druthers,
Yeah.
would be in that position or in that type of a relationship with somebody who was the right fit, with somebody who
That's
was
the whole
naturally
thing is
that way.
the fit of the people. Like, I feel like some guys are some way, some women are some way, and
Right.
then whatever. It's all how, like, everyone's a snowflake, everyone's different.
Sure.
Not even in the political way. I mean, like, you know how every snowflake's different?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah. So, like, everyone just, like, likes different stuff stacked up in a different way.
Absolutely.
You know, like, their bodies are
Absolutely.
different shapes. They need different things, whatever. Find the thing that fits you.
Right.
But I think the question that you said, where did we go wrong? I think I grew up in a time where, you know how we're in, like, fourth wave feminism right now, I guess,
Right.
or third wave or something like that. The waves come in where people, like, realize women should be equal, but then they go away again.
Okay.
And I think I grew up in one of those away times where it was like, no, you fuck women to get your nut. Women, like, are around so that we can fuck them. Like,
Okay.
even just the way, like I was saying in health class, like, they explained it to us. It was like, okay, yeah, guys get really horny. They're going to have boners all the time. Like, we were told about blue balls, and it was like, you have to feel really bad if you give him blue balls, and then, like, he's walking around with a boner. And I used to say to myself,
But from
after,
the educational system, or from the friends, or from the
in, like, health class videos, it would just be like, men will get or, like, even in pop culture, like, it was like the guy's always going to have a boner, and it's going to be embarrassing, and, like,
Right.
women don't have that.
right.
That shame, except for in not another teen movie when she's caught masturbating. That's the one time I've seen. But in that, it was like a joke,
Right.
you know, like, it got thrown up on the ceiling. The dildo like smacks her in the head. Also, it's a dildo, so that another thing contributes to the whole mystique.
Right. I don't
But
think the rabbit came out until like 2003 or something.
the rabbit
like
was the
that.
first thing I tried, but I was using it the wrong way because I thought it was all about holes. So I'm shoving the dick part up me, not realizing that it's all about the bunny. My sister, my younger sister, who had come before me, and that's, like, one of the main reasons I started the podcast, because I was like, wait, if she can come, I can come, because I
You
know
do the podcast with your sister.
she
Or is
produced
that
the
your
second
older?
season,
Okay.
and she was on a bunch of episodes in the first season because she did a ton of research. She was a researcher at Last Week Tonight for John Oliver, and when I first told her, like, yeah, I'm not coming, she was like, I'm going to run these stats. And she was like, it's not actually that uncommon. Like, there's a huge pleasure gap between heterosexual couples. Because, like, gay men make each other come all the time. Gay women make each other come all the time. But in the hetero, there's a thing called the pleasure gap. So she's like, we got to close this shit.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, I thought any guy who was giving, who wanted to make a woman feel good, who wanted to go down on a woman, was gross. That was what people I grew up with called a
Right.
pussy.
Right.
You know? And so I was like, oh, if he's nice to me, he's disgusting, and I don't want that.
Okay.
So then I just ended up having sex with countless dudes who were just like, hey, there's a good hole with a cute face.
Right.
Modesty, myself. But they said it, not my words. And yeah, we would just, like, I'd just get like pounded. And then if they would even try and go down on me, I would be like, no, that's not necessary. Like, I know you think that's gross. Like, I've been told that. I know you guys all think vaginas are disgusting. I've heard in a million songs that we smell like fish, even though I've never encountered that. But like, totally don't do this. I don't like, and I was just scared of a guy leaving. Right. Because also the way I feel I was raised personally was my dad being like, you will find self-worth in the man that you marry.
Right.
Basically.
Or that a way to keep love is to give sex.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like you need a dude. And so my entire life was I was like always thinking like, okay, how can I make like a guy like me instead of focusing on like liking myself and learning how to like masturbate and like. And now I feel like I've found a person that I really like, and I feel like if somebody likes me, then that's great. I mean, I have a boyfriend, but like, yeah,
right.
It's a different way to be.
Guys have that too. Guys have that too.
The same insecurity, just trying to be liked by women.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
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 I mean, why do you think these?
But there wasn't that financial thing of like my dad would be like, okay, you're going to get married and he's going to take care of you. And otherwise,
right.
So it was like, not only does he have to like love you, but he has to like become your new dad.
I'm literally just starting just to get all California. I did just move here. So I apologize, everybody from New York who's listening.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, about a month ago.
Oh my God, welcome.
Thank you.
This is so exciting.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. And I have Remy on my show. So to get a little California, I even have sage in my car. Actually, the inverted nipple girl actually gave me the sage to like.
Love her.
Yeah. But I've literally started to accept myself and love myself and work on that spiritual angle of shit. As uncomfortable as it is, and I'm noticing because of that desire to work on that muscle, I'm noticing all the ways that I seek constant fucking validation. I mean, being a performer, doing this shit, like how many likes and how many this and how many that. And if I'm not fucking a certain amount of girls, I'm not a man. If I'm not doing a certain amount of stuff, if I'm not a certain type of man, then I'm not a man. So the pressure, I think, the way to fix a lot of the pressure and a lot of the bullshit between men and women is to look inside of ourselves and work on that internal shit.
Totally.
Not
and
to
stop
blame the other
putting it on the
side.
other person or
Right.
expecting all of your happiness to come from this missing piece.
Right.
Like, I also, like, we talk about this all the time, but there's like that buzzword toxic masculinity. That fucking is hurting men too.
Right.
Like, we talk about hurting women, but it's like so many guys are like, yeah, because of that, I would think if I went home with a girl and I suddenly wasn't into her, I'd have to fuck her because otherwise I wasn't a man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is such a horrible, you're like
I've
self-raping.
I have literally, what was this one story? Was that a good example of this? I've had times where I was with a girl once, we were in a relationship, and oh my God, we hated each other. And
I love that.
And I remember literally
relationship.
faking an orgasm.
Yeah.
Just so I could stop fucking this person.
Yeah.
And then I've also had times where I thought I needed to make her happy. Mm-hmm. And so my desire to make sure she had a good time, even though I'm like, as soon as it was a Tinder date, as soon as she showed up, I'm like, this is not what I thought this was.
Yeah.
And we went back to my place, and I'm literally like, I could have, if I had a button, like a date eject button.
Yeah.
That she could just leave and I wouldn't have to, it could just, I'm sorry, my thing's
It's
going.
okay.
And I
popular.
could just, I'm very popular. And very handsome. If I could just have this reset, I would rather eat Thai food and jerk off than fuck this right now.
Yeah.
But I did anyway, but then she was like trying to like give me head, and I'm like trying to get off and trying to have fun. And then at one point she said like, are you almost ready? And I'm just like, because I already was feeling like I'm sacrificing myself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like getting head like, aren't I a sacrificial lamb?
No,
but I
not
literally
at all.
invited Dick into the situation just to like make sure she had a good time.
Yeah.
Even though I was not.
Totally. I think it's funny. You've only faked one orgasm?
I think so.
Yeah. Like, I've learned more about guys faking them because they're like, yeah, sometimes we just can't, and like we don't want anybody to feel bad, and everybody who's faking, I always am like, you don't have to worry about the other person feeling bad. Like, that shouldn't be your concern. It's if you had a good time during the sex. Sometimes an orgasm just won't happen.
Yeah.
But, like, this girl wrote me recently, and she was like, I'm having a problem. My boyfriend can only come once, and it's really frustrating me. And I was like, well, back up. I was like, first of all, what do you mean? Like, he can only come once? Like, he's got a long refractory period. He can only fuck, and then he has to go to sleep. Right. And she's like, yeah. And then he'll, like, fuck me for longer, and he can't come again. And I feel like his dick is, like, challenging me. And I was like, this is so much to unpack.
Yeah.
But I was like, first of all, does he have a problem with not coming again? She goes, no, he's fine. And I said, so what's the issue? She's like, I just want to do it again. I'm like, but if that's the way his body works,
right,
then, like, that's a weird challenge. Like, one of the things that, like, I've major, like, mind-blowing thing from the pod is that, like, I used to think I was broken if I couldn't come from penetration.
Right.
Only 8 to 25% of women can.
Right.
What?
Right.
So, like, most women, if they want to make a guy feel good, will fake an orgasm when he's just pumping away, and then he'll think for next time that that's all he needs to do. Right. And then for the next girl who can't do it, right, he'll either get mad or frustrated when that's a thing that girl number one couldn't even do. Right. And probably all the girls pre-number, you know, like... Right. So, yeah, Dan Savage says the campfire rule is leave everyone better than you came in. You know, like, with a campfire, if, like... Have you ever, like, gone camping?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, like leave only footprints and take only pictures.
Like, leave everything clean. Like, don't get the bathroom all gross. Don't leave your food or all around. Like, leave the campfire how you found
Patrice
it.
used to say, don't drink her last Snapple.
Yeah. If there's a string cheese wrapper from the person before, clean that up. Why not? Leave it equal or better than when you came.
Right.
Lying about coming is leaving that person worse at sex.
Right. And here's the thing, too. One of the things that really fucks with me when it comes to that stuff is it's amazing how often, like, sometimes you're feeling it and you just get right in, and you're just, But sometimes, especially the first time with somebody, your brain, a guy's brain will be like, all right, wait, am I not hard enough? Oh no. And as soon as you fucking think anything about an erection, it's just like, and so I'm like pumping away.
That's
just
how we feel about wetness too. Oh my God. If I'm like super dry, I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Oh no. Okay, but even if you, have you had times where you are super turned on and not as dry? Okay. All right.
Yes. Okay. I think everybody's just in their head, and like that's what I've been like. How come feels to me like the great equalizer, because I'm like, oh my God, everyone is just as scared and just as self-conscious as I was.
Right.
And also, like, when people get offended if somebody can't come, it's like, dude, it wasn't you. It's literally me. It's Remy and her brain. And yeah, so that was another thing that they'd used to accuse my boyfriend of being bad at sex. When I first came out with the podcast, they're like, oh, Ben must be bad at fucking. And I'm like, no, I lived with my body for like 26 years before I met him. That's like being like, hey, I've never figured this thing out. It's a 9-sided Rubik's Cube. Can you figure it out? Also, you're naked.
Right.
Go ahead. That's not fair.
What was the mental stuff that started to click for you? Because obviously it wasn't just finding the right toy or the whatever.
Yeah.
Was it the vulnerability side?
It was other people are having this problem. It's not just me. I'm not just like a weird solo freak out here broken and alone.
Right.
Because literally the second I started the podcast, other people shot their little hands up. My friends, like people in my family had been like, yeah, oh, me neither. Like I didn't. And I was like, oh. And then number 2, I think more talk about the mechanics.
Right.
Hole was not the way to go.
Right.
It's all about clit. Specifically, air pulsing, arousing toys. They're like clit suckers.
Yeah.
Little blowjobs for so nice.
G-spot as well?
Well, G-spot's great. So yeah, that's the mental thing was just knowing, okay, I've not been doing it right. I can fix this. Here are these. I'm not alone. Now I can just relax. Mm-hmm. And also the toy that did it didn't let me in my head anymore. It was like it was like 30 seconds and I was like squirting and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
It just didn't allow
Are
it.
they a sponsor of your show now? That's why.
Well, I have. There are several air pulse arousing toys. My favorites are from Plus One, and there's also one from Sweet Vibrations called The Girl's Best Friend, which you can get promo code How Come 15% off.
Hey.
But yeah, there's the Satisfier. There's the Womanizer was the first one I did. It's way more expensive, but all of them are like so great, and I highly recommend getting them for a lover, because now Ben used to be fucking eating me out for like days and shit, like just trying and sweating, and we were both like having like the worst time, and now I'll just put the thing on, make him hug me and kiss my neck, have like 6 orgasms,
So sweet.
and
So
then
sweet.
I'm like so like done that he's like, well, I've just watched you come, and watching a woman come is really hot to me. So he's hard as a rock. We bang it out for whatever he needs, and then we're both so happy.
Awesome.
It's great.
Was part of the mental stuff. He's thinking about me not coming
Yes.
over and over.
All
and
the time.
The deeper you get into
All
it,
the
the
time.
more it's just like, I'm broken.
I've never
I'm
done
twisted.
this. This is never going to happen. Why would it happen now? I'm
He's gonna
torturing
leave
him. He
me.
hates this. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I one of the reasons why I started the show was to humanize people of all walks and
Yeah.
whatever. Was part of the impetus for your show to humanize people, or you just thought it was an interesting thing? Was it a little bit of
I
both?
just really wanted to come. I was just
So it was a
so
byproduct
pent
that you were
up.
like, oh, there's other people.
Yeah, I find it really funny and sweet that now people are like, you are doing the Lord's work. You are so
Right.
great. And I'm like, dude, I was just a horny bitch
Yeah.
that was about to explode. And I feel like I've really mellowed.
Okay, right, exactly. Hey,
Like,
man,
it's so
whatever.
good for my,
Right.
like, psyche and, like,
Right.
yeah,
It's
I
so
feel.
good for everything.
Yeah, I feel like I can speak up now. Like, I feel like more self-worth. Yeah. And also the humanizing thing. I was just saying this the other day. Like, I really didn't think before hearing about the guy's perspective and their insecurities that we were on equal playing fields, like, or that we could even like understand each other. Like, I thought guys were like this cool other race that like went to a sex school and like they were just going to do a bunch of stuff to us, and like eventually like, we'd figure out what that was that we liked, and they were just like perfect, and now I'm like, no, like I was literally sitting with my boyfriend the other day and I was like, dude, when I was younger I would think about, I can't have a boyfriend, why would a guy want to talk to me for, and like
See, that's it's all built into the layers upon layers upon layers of deep ass insecurity. Like you were saying about clits or what did you say? The vaginas are the inverted nipples thing.
Yeah.
It's just like that weirdness about females because it's weirdness about you. It's
Yeah.
weirdness about I'm not worthy or I'm not wanted, so I'm gonna put on all this 58,000 fucking masks so that you don't find out who I actually am.
I'm gonna pretend to like football because you couldn't possibly like my interests, but now like we watch Drag Race together.
Okay.
Sometimes he'll point out a Real
RuPaul
Housewife.
is the great fucking equalizer, okay? That bitch is
right?
fucking, I love that.
Did you see
Absolutely.
my Halloween costume?
Yes, there were several.
There were
It was
several.
you should follow her on Instagram.
But yeah, I
Where
did
did you get the
RuPaul
teeth
out
gap,
of.
though, for Elton?
Oh, I just drew some eyeliner on my own mouth.
See what we do for art, you
Yeah.
cocksuckers, you fucking ungrateful
If they
bastards.
test it on animals, I can eat it.
There you go.
No, don't test on animals, you guys. It's so mean.
No,
I love
come on.
them. I love them.
Straw in the. So yeah, I wanted to humanize.
Wait, I found a really great alternative for straws, just in case anybody likes the
What?
feeling of a plastic straw, but like
Yes.
gives a fuck or
a
whatever.
sucking machine.
Hay straws.
Hay straws.
Made out
I
of
feel like
hay.
it's going to be like bamboo. Almost,
No,
like
it's
that.
like thin, just like plastic.
Okay.
And they don't disintegrate like paper.
Okay.
So good.
That could get stuck in a turtle's nostril
No, because they break. You can break them up.
before you throw them out.
Yeah, you can just snap them.
Okay.
And it's actually really fun. And like, I'm that kind of person that like I'm always snapping toothpicks and shit like into a million pieces.
bubble
Bubble
paper.
popping.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a
That
paper
makes
clip
sense.
apart.
Are you a pimple popper as well?
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
If you got one, let me add them. No, my dad's a dermatologist, so not only do I pop them, I do it in a way that doesn't scar. I will warm it up so that it opens the skin. I will cut it open so you don't scar, and then I will pop that shit out like a volcano you've never seen.
I don't know if I'm willing to humanize you type of people, but what is what is it? What is it about the pimple?
I don't know if it's a pimple specific thing because I'm very fluid interested.
Okay. All right. We
So,
can get
like,
into that
I like to look at cum. I like to look how much period I made. I like to look at my boogers. I like to...
Does it continue to shit? That's what we're all wondering.
Shit?
Yeah.
I shit? What?
No, I'm saying, does the interest continue all the way down to...
Oh, to shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you not look at your shit after you shit? See what you did today? See what's going on in your body?
Yeah, it's a natural...
You're supposed to check in. Literally.
It's a form of self-care.
Yeah. Like, if you smell, like, some women will, like, smell their fingers after, like, touching their vaginas or whatever. Like, that's a normal thing to be like, do I have bacterial vaginismus this week? Like, am I okay? Is my pH doing all right? Like, you know when your body's off balance. If your shit is light green, you're like, something's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I've lived with you people before. It's horrible.
You look...
I'm just saying, God bless Monistat. But no, you were saying pimples.
Sucks. Oh, pimples.
Yeah.
Well, pimples.
No, you can talk about fungus if you want. You can talk about
fungus, discharge. The different colors of discharge depending on your cycle. Oh my God. When a discharge looks like a booger, you're like, interesting.
Or females who gave birth years ago but are still have a little discharge out of the nipples.
Oh, I have that, and I've never given birth.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Can you squirt it, or is it just
no? It's like kind of looks like a booger. Like sometimes it'll form, and I just have to like swat it away.
Okay, so your boyfriend doesn't suck on it.
He does, but it is not. It's not that big that he would notice. It like kind of looks like an eye crusty.
Oh, okay. So it's never in liquid form. You don't
No.
Right.
No liquid.
Okay.
But yeah, humans are gross, and pimples are amazing. And I feel honored to be able to be in comedy and be in this time where I can say shit like that.
Right.
And people, like, won't be like, oh, how uncouth. I'll never invite her to a wedding.
Right.
You know, like, it's like, I used to be like, I wish I had a secret Instagram to talk about picking boogers. And now I'm just like, my cum looks like this.
So, okay. So is a piece of it, I'm interested in that. Is a piece of it service?
Making somebody come?
No, pimples. Is a piece of it.
What?
Are you when you pop a pimple on somebody?
Yeah.
Is a piece of it? I'm doing a service to them, or I'm making them happy, or I'm cleaning this off of them.
Yeah. You know how like
like
monkeys pick each other?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and also like how bad do pimples hurt? Like I'm like alleviating some pressure.
Right.
I get some ones that are like deep down there or whatever. I'm very aesthetically based because my dad is a dermatologist. I think this is why I'm so judgy about like appearance and like why I had to like unlearn the inverted nipples are ugly or whatever.
Is he from Los Angeles?
No, he's from New York.
Okay.
But like he's in beauty. And so if something is a blemish, I like to remove the blemish.
Okay.
I like to solve the problem.
And that includes if you have a blemish,
I'd like to
still have the insecurity. I mean, we all do.
100%. I'm like, everyone is looking at it.
Right. I don't know what that feels like. No. No, motherfucker. You know what? I've been talking about this a lot, but like the food stuff for me, I like being a big dude.
Yeah.
But I lost 110 pounds last year.
Congratulations.
And then I've gained like 30 of it back, and I'm just I'm like...
It's okay, though. You know what? Obama said progress is not linear. Right? That's what I think about in response to like feminism or whatever. Is like it's like a retrograde period. You just have to go back a little bit. I'm just throwing liberalism, astronomy, and or astrology and feminism all in one conservative podcast.
That's exactly what Bonnie was saying yesterday. I saw Bonnie here yesterday.
Wasn't she filming her album?
Yeah.
She's a beast.
She's fucking great. And did you read her book?
Mm-mm.
Her book is fucking hilarious.
I can't read.
No, neither can I. Audible. But her and Colin's book are really, really good. Anyway, but no, what the fuck was I going to say? Anyway, as far as the humanizing of that's what she said was, let me talk about, she's a vegan, she's a feminist, and she's a, Anyway, see, I can't even. I fucked
Something
it all
else.
up. I ruined everything.
Hoopty doopty. Astrologist. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, like, when I was growing up, I thought feminist was, like, such a gross word. I was like,
Right.
ew, you are a woman who thinks you have value. That is so disgusting. And
Yeah.
now I just view feminism as equalism. I'm like, everyone should just feel good.
Right.
Or not feel good. Feel like they have the same opportunity as everybody else, and that
Right.
if they work as hard, then they will get somewhere, and that
Right.
they should also look to support themselves for their whole life.
Right.
And if somebody else comes along that can do that, that's great. But don't have that be your entire thing.
Right.
Expect to have a job, everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little babies, when they come out, say, you're going to get a job someday.
And you're gonna come.
You're going to support yourself, and you're going to come. Yeah.
Come.
When,
All right,
Wendy
I'm not gonna
Starling
say-
on my first episode, she
Oh,
came
yeah,
at like
she's a
3
fucking
or something
beast,
like
man.
that, and she goes, "Hey man, toddlers have clits too." Ugh.
She has a fucking great song. She's a great. She writes a lot of funny shit.
Yeah.
But what was I goddamn saying? Oh, yeah. No, the definition of feminism is the only thing that I when it's in the wrong hands.
Oh.
That moniker
Yeah.
can be wildly perverted.
Yeah.
And not in the fun way.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I call it conservatish, is because I wanted to humanize conservatives, and being in the Bay Area
Mm-hmm.
and even in New York. People in the Bay Area assume if you're not in San Francisco, L.A., or New York, you're just a horrible racist, horrible misogynist piece of shit. And I'm like, nah, I went to Oklahoma. Them motherfuckers, they're running around with, there's black kids and white kids and kids with, pink hair or whatever the fuck. Like, everything's kind of fine. You know what I mean? Like, let's relax and take it easy. Let's find the things
And they're all friends?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's find the things that are common between us. You know?
Right.
So I've had women who aren't feminists on my show. I've had black, gay, Mexican Trump supporters, gay Trump supporters, women Trump supporters. I've had all walks of life, and lots of liberals too, whatever.
Yeah.
But my goal, it's turned into, besides just being a place for me to rant and talk about fucking.
Do you like him still?
Versus what we've been offered, I kinda do.
Oh
yeah.
no. Oh no, I'll fix you.
Oh, good. Pop my pimple.
Yeah, I will.
Well, versus what I always say about the motherfucker is that I don't like his personality. I think he's a emotionally childish, immature person. As far as what we're being offered from the other side, meaning identity politics, that's what bothers me more than anything.
What does
the
that
identity politics. If you're white, you're bad. If you're a male, you're bad.
I don't think.
Or,
I would hope that I would not ever.
or if you're black, you're good.
Right. Yeah, no, that's no good. Everybody should come in with the same bias, and it's really hard to say that because we can't clean a slate of history.
No.
We can't do it. But yeah, I would definitely not support a candidate that was like, every black person's great, and because that, honestly, that sounds racist.
Yeah,
Sounds
it
like
is.
you don't have any black friends.
Right. Yay!
You know?
Fucking say.
Like, I have a friend who, he has a joke about how he was excited when Jussie Smollett happened because he's like, yeah, nuance. He's like, yeah, of course there were bad, stupid gay people. Of course. That's
Right.
like saying you can't make a blanket statement about
Right.
any race or gender or whatever
Right.
because people are people and they are different.
Right. I had.
And like it's easy for people to be racist and categorize because that is
Right.
that is so mindless
Right.
to be like, okay, that's a good one and
Right.
that's a bad, like
Right.
it just takes less energy than getting to know people and realizing what they're actually about.
And that, as far as the feminism thing, when it came down to the believe all women thing, I've had a myriad of, I've had 2 women on my show who know women who lied about rape. So, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? When it gets perverted that far.
Yeah.
I know the impetus. I know
It is
the
very-
intention
of
is
course.
great. Absolutely wonderful.
I think that the believe women thing, I think in most cases, in most cases, it's happening, and that's why they did it so extreme because they needed to swing the pendulum. Because most women won't report their rapes because why? Cops don't even believe them. That's literally the thing.
Okay.
So I think they just wanted to swing the pendulum so that the people who are actually getting raped feel comfortable coming out and feel supported.
Right.
But yeah, once it's good and it's like people are getting punished,
Right.
when the Brock Turners of the world will actually get punished,
That was that white kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like then yeah, let's fucking out these bitches who are lying too, because I hate them equally.
And when it comes
It
to the
makes-
believe all women, it makes feminism look worse.
Sure.
It makes feminism look worse.
Yeah.
I think it's a natural progression for
Yeah.
pendulums to swing. I think to push it so far, that's what bothers me, because I know women who are wonderful, and I know women who are insane. I know I've done volunteering at prisons for years, and I know black people and Mexicans who did actually kill. Like, it wasn't the
Sure.
cops. Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
actually fucking killed people.
Sure.
And I love them with all my heart, and they making their life better, and whatever. But like, as far as you are this, you fit into this category, that's what bothers me. And part of it in being that I'm a fucking Habsy. I'm part Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I'm part white, German,
I was going to
black.
say that's probably, though, why you have a bit of empathy, because you understand people looking at you in a little different way than just being like,
People
like,
don't know what
are
the
you
fuck
something else?
Right. Actually, the
How
Mexicans
do
at
I treat you?
The Mexicans at my restaurant are like, oh, Chino Latino, because they think
Yeah.
I'm Chinese.
So funny.
So I've had a white, a half white, half black person on my show, Kat. Look up that episode; it's a very good episode. She stays anonymous besides that name, and she talks about lots of sexual abuse surviving, and it's a great episode. But she also talks about how she wasn't black enough for the black people of her
Sure.
family, and she wasn't
Yeah.
white enough for the white people in her family,
Yeah.
and how that's why I think we're all wonderful, and we're all messy and nasty and horrible and wonderful and
Yeah.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
let's all jump down in the shit. Genuine fucking equality.
Yeah.
And let's not
And
make believe
meet
that
on
the animal
issues instead of like it's
Right.
so annoying with like the two-party system, like that everyone just gets like funneled into these two things that like, if I say that I'm a liberal to somebody, they'll assume they can't have a conversation with me.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that like this has just created extremism in the most
Right.
annoying sense.
Right.
If everybody, I always wanted, like, especially after 2016, I wanted to build an app where people, sorry, an
Would you
app,
stop ruining my show, please?
an app where people could meet based on issues rather than party. So
Like
if
a Bumble?
like if somebody really found that abortion rights were threatened and it was a conservative woman and a liberal woman, they both could work together to figure out, how do we not do this? How do we
Right.
still support things? Because like a conservative woman could really want to keep her tax dollars, but she
Right.
also doesn't want to hurt other women,
Right.
And
And I've had a
it's conflicting.
I've had a lot of liberal people on my show, and not one of them, when it comes to abortion, because we might as well get into it, not one of them, when it comes to abortion, has said, oh, yeah, kill the baby at 9 months. It's like,
Oh my God,
okay,
no.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because even liberals are kind of like, no, I want a woman's right to choose, but let's not keep the door so far open. I've had two women specifically, when I posted about feeling like I was kind of not pro-life, like whatever, call it, pro-choice, but like call it what it is. Like, it's a separate body, number one, and I don't like being told that I can't have an opinion just because I have a PP. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, you can have an opinion for
And the
sure.
women who I've talked to were like, even the ones who are super pro-choice were like, no, the abortions that I've had, even though I'm super pro-choice, the abortions that I've had were traumatic because it is a separate life, and I don't think you shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion just because you have a dick.
Yeah.
And so we're all kind of in the middle, like you were saying. We're not super far one way or the other.
Yeah,
most of us anyway.
my abortion was a very easy decision for me at the time, and I still cried, like, because I was like, I can't have a kid. This is
Right.
going to be a worse life for the kid.
Right.
Like, I'm in no place to be a mother at this point. I still don't think I'm there yet. I still think most comedians have too much narcissism to work through before they can raise another being.
Right.
But don't you think that's more empathetic than bringing some, right?
Sure.
Like, so I did, and I was like, if this little soul, like, if this is sad for it, like, I feel really sad for it. But also, it would be so much worse once it got here.
Right.
And I thought that it would be an easier thing to discuss. I find people still kind of judge me when I bring it up. Like, even my mom, the day it happened, I was working with my friend at a pop-up shop after. I'm just kind of like sitting there and like helping her. And my mom came down to visit me, and she was like, how are you feeling? I was like, great. Honestly, best abortion I've ever had. But I had never had one before, but it was a joke.
Right.
And she, like, yelled at me. She was like, don't say that in front of people. And I was like, why should I be ashamed of a really rational decision?
Right.
Like, guys would get abortions if they, you know.
Sure.
I mean, not all of them. Some of them wouldn't because they're different.
Right.
And at different points in their life. But I really didn't appreciate being made to feel ashamed of something that is also going to probably be good. Like, having kids is like kind of pollution now. You know, there's overcrowding. You know?
There's overcrowding in the cities. I just drove across the fucking country. Anywhere along Highway 40 and Highway 75.
You could put more people?
Holy shit. Do you know how
God.
swaths from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles, there is fuck all nobody. It is so terrifyingly and flat. Indiana, by the way, if you live in Indiana, fuck you. But anyway.
How long did it take you?
I took a day in Oklahoma, but it was about 7 days.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I want to do that.
It was a lot of fun. But I also have,
Did you do spots or?
No, I mean, I'm not a comedian, so I'm just a musician.
You're just funny.
Yeah. I thought about it.
No, but did you do music spots?
No. I had my first show out here at Body Storytelling. You ever heard of Body Storytelling? Mm-mm. It's a sex storytelling.
Cool.
It's really, really cool. Very sex positive. And I sang, the first song I did was Mother Lover.
Cool.
Remember that one? Second one I did was an original called The Barely Legal Blonde, which is exactly like it sounds, and is not on the album. And then the third one I did was Pony, while a lady, Milena, what's her last name? Anyway, Milena, who likes dressing up like a pony.
Yeah.
That's a fetish.
Yeah.
Came up through the audience while the audience was feeding her sugar cubes and carrots.
Oh my God.
And I sang Pony while she came up.
Genuine's Pony.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When I was little and I heard that song, I was like, how can they say, like, you're horny? Let's do it. Like, how is this in a song? And, do you remember Too Close by Next? And it's like, I feel a little poke coming through. I was like, am I understanding this correctly, that we are singing about boners?
We got to, I think, and I do not mean to offend, but I think that part of the lack of education was also the culture. Black culture is so much more like open about that shit. There are a lot of there are a lot of like black dudes who don't even care that when they get cheated on. There's a lot more like, I'm not saying sex positive go orgasm, but like black women on the whole, not always, on the whole,
can't do it.
Are more willing to speak up for themselves.
I think because of certain cultural reasons, they have had to. And yeah, white women have always just been like taken care of and been like, just fucking go in the pool at the club, Sharon. Turn your cheek.
Camille Paglia, you ever heard of Camille Paglia?
No.
She's a lesbian first wave feminist author. I don't know if you'd like her very much. She doesn't like some of the third wave, fourth wave, but she's an author, and she talks about how in some cultures, and especially in the white culture, sometimes white girls are raised to be like little birds.
Yes.
Where like you're the perfect princess, and we're gonna protect you. All of a sudden, you fly out into the world, and someone says something bad at a comedy show, and you're the one. Excuse me, you know.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Beep 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 beep.
I like skinny white girls.
In London, they call a bachelorette party a hens party because women are hens, women are birds.
Yeah,
we're not supposed to take up a lot of space.
Right.
I always wear sleeves because I think my arms are so fat they'll offend people. Like I feel like.
There's been a lot about insecurity. How much time you got, by the way?
Well, what time is it now?
It's been 48 minutes. So I'm
what
time
did we start? Oh,
I
have
know.
my
You
phone.
would look at your phone. Probably would be the best.
Oh, we've got time.
Okay.
My show. You guys, we're at the Stand currently. It's Sunday. We're here every Sunday for my show Bacon Bits at 3, and it's currently
what's Bacon Bits?
2:15. It's a stand-up comedy show. During brunch, you get free bacon with your ticket. It's really good bacon, and bottomless mimosa specials. I think we're starting like an Aperol spritz thing, very like basic, but also like give it to your boyfriend because he loves it too.
Right.
And yeah, what else is special about this? Oh shit!
What?
I was supposed to bring sex toys to give out today.
You were. I was just going to mention that.
I gotta text my boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
You text your boyfriend. One more time, everybody. I'll mention my album is out. Peter Feliciano. Just go look it up on iTunes, Spotify. I'm really, really good. I have songs about shitty rappers. I have songs about death. I have songs about fear. I have songs about all kinds of wonderful things. Old people. Meat too. I have a song called the Meat Song. It's all about how I had dated this PETA member years ago, and so I saw all the videos, but then I still eat meat. So it's about really how, even though I know better, I don't do better, which I think is pretty human.
Do you think about death often? Is that why you have songs about death?
No, I think I just like the subject. I think
that was my initial podcast.
Right, I heard you say that on that. Yeah, I think. I
love death.
Yeah, I think anything that's
Can't
the most
wait.
terrifying stuff is human insanity, and like meth guy outside.
Yes. Oh.
And we got a new best friend, meth guy, outside, and death, and just any version of powerlessness over either of those two things.
When meth guy approaches you,
Right.
like we were standing outside having a cigarette, having a joint. This guy comes over. He's crazy. He's on meth. Just starts talking.
Right.
Do you get scared at all? Because I was terrified.
No. Because I felt like, and
I
you
thought
could call
he
it,
could
you could
stab
call it
me
masculine, whatever. That's why I kind of moved.
That's why you
positioned my
moved
body.
forward, yeah.
because I'm a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
No one takes swings at me.
Yeah.
And people take swings at girls.
Yeah.
So I feel it's my fucking job. Sorry if it's not whatever, but I feel like it's my job to be like,
No, I
fuck
really
you.
appreciated it.
Yeah. That's one of those things that even though I'm all across the board equality of opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's not lie about our bellies. Let's not lie about the animals that we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I as an example don't like Little Spoon, but
You don't?
most girls like being the little spoon because I'm
Yeah.
a big motherfucker.
I
and
love
I'm
to be a
great
big spoon.
You like to be the big spoon?
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I just like to flip back and forth because sometimes
Okay.
I'm like, my back is cold.
Okay, all right. So it's a temperature
comfort thing,
What
yeah.
else is it about the big spoon that you like being in that position? Is it like twiddling his?
No, it's more the belly. I love to hold a belly.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
and the side is where they really let it out, and like you can just like, oh, it's my.
Okay.
And then if I'm not the little spoon, like I don't have to worry about like my hair being in your mouth because like that's always like a thing, and like I'm shorter, so I'm not gonna be like breathing on his neck and like creeping him out, like whereas like that could get like annoying for me. Maybe has at a time.
Even when you really, really, really like the guy?
I love my boyfriend.
No, the hair, the breath on the thing.
The breath can be fine, but it can also get annoying.
Right.
Whereas if
Even if
if
you
there
like
is
the
no breath involved because I'm behind and I'm just like
Right.
holding your belly and you feel
Right.
like a giant warm stuffed animal.
Right. I would think that's more of like so mentally,
Mm-hmm.
I would think, I usually call that koala.
Yes.
Like when a girl's koala-ing you.
Yes.
The best.
Yes.
But when I'm holding a girl, the mental part is like protection, care, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I always say, like, let's not lie about whatever that animal is. Like, it's my job because my biceps are big to knock a motherfucker out if I need to.
Right.
And then when kids do come, not that we shouldn't help out, we should absolutely be helping out, but some things your motherfuckers are just better at. Like, we'll be there and we'll be like ready to like, okay, carry something, knock somebody out, what do you need? But like, as far as just even physically, you guys feed. You guys like
Yeah.
are more nurturing naturally. I don't know why.
Some women are
Some
so
women
not.
are not. No.
And yeah, that's the yeah. Anyway, I used to judge a bunch of my friends because they were like, I don't like animals or kids, and I was like, what kind of woman are you?
Right.
And now I'm just like a different one.
All right.
Give me all the kids and babies.
Yeah.
I'll take them.
I've had
You heard me on the phone on the way over. We're
Yeah,
literally.
oh my
I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? That dog is so cute.
I'll be there in a second. No, but I had we have a friend of the show. Obviously, I moved, so she can't come back on the show. But She's known as the Good Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Go look up her episodes. She's an anonymous pervert girl, and she talks about, like you were saying, as far as the receiving head thing. It's more of a mental thing for her. She can come when the guy's inside.
Yeah.
But like she does not. She genuinely, because of her upbringing, she goes into it at length. But she just does not like receiving head. She
It's
likes
really
service.
tough. I'm still
to a guy.
in my head about it. It's not even like, well, she might like it, but I feel I've just been trained to service, that it's like, that's why you're here. Like, the guy likes sex, not you.
Okay.
And that's the way I was having sex for a really long time. And so even now, like, if my boyfriend like tries to go down on me, and like I'll like have to remember not to swat him away, or in my head it'll pop in. I'll be like, you haven't been touching him for a while, Remy.
Right.
And I'm like, that's bad. And I'm like,
right,
no,
right,
it's
right,
okay.
Right,
And then
right,
my
right,
little brain me's fight.
Right.
And then I can't even enjoy the
Right,
head.
right.
But I'm getting there. I think I'm trying. And like a lot of what he can do to help and what he has is just being like, I like this. This is great. I don't. This, yeah,
Grunting,
you're cool.
growling.
Yeah.
I also. This might sound weird, but I also like just holding her hands. Just like,
Yeah.
no. Not like a genuine no.
Yeah.
If it's a genuine no, I'm off of there. But like, oh no, like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like, I got
yeah.
you. You know what I mean? I love bypassing all that stuff because I like the animal that we are.
Yeah.
I like the animal that we
Yeah,
are.
sex is animal. That's why even like the spooning thing or whatever, I'm like, I'm doing it not even out of protection. I'm doing it for comfort.
Yep.
This animal likes comfort. She wants to stay warm, hibernate.
Right.
And look at different fluids from her body. That's what I like.
You're a dirtbag. I like dirtbags.
Yeah.
So when did you get into comedy? Why did you get into comedy?
I've been obsessed with stand-up since I was like 14.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which ones?
My favorites were, I used to download Comedy Central half hours on Kazaa around 2003, 2000, yeah. So Maria Bamford was my shit, Nick Swardson, Pablo Francisco, Adam Ferrara.
Nice.
I was obsessed with all of them. I would watch them on repeat. Dane Cook, I loved Harmful If Swallowed. Yeah, I was just obsessed, and I would listen to them all the time, like rabidly, and just memorize their shit and restate it to friends. I loved that album Adam Sandler had about, you remember Piece of Shit Car? My car's a fucking piece of shit. No? Okay, it was like a singing album. I loved Weird Al.
I love Weird Al.
Yeah.
Fucking underrated as a motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, who else? Stephen Lynch was a musical comic at the time. He was great. So yeah, I was obsessed with them, and every year in my diary, I would have like things I want to do, and it would always be like do stand up.
Right.
And it just didn't seem like a possibility for me, like white, Jewish, Upper East Side girl from a good family.
Oh, there's tons of you.
Private. Well, now, but at the time, like most of the people I was seeing, like there weren't really examples that looked like me, and my parents weren't telling me go out get a job. They were telling me go out get a man.
Right.
And stand-up was going to be a barrier to get a man because no man wants to listen to you talk about your discharge on stage, Remy.
Right.
Wrong.
Right. I was listening to you guys talk about on the Congratulations, the latest episode. I was listening to you guys talk about different guys' reactions to shit. Dude, that's what. Okay,
it is such a good litmus test.
I know we're talking about your stand-up. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
But like, nothing. That's what I was saying about like dudes not being dudes. Like, there's a way to do it. I was working at some restaurant, and there was this 26-year-old friend of mine there. And he was a virgin. I felt like literally grabbing his hips and putting him in someone. You know what I mean? Just like, come on, man. Like being a champion of like the fucking. It just bothers me that dudes can be so fucking blind to some shit. And you all have your own blind shit. But like, it bothers me to no fucking end.
Yeah.
Like not even caring about eating pussy or G-spot.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked my listener.
Go ahead.
Did he care about being a virgin?
Yeah. But he just didn't. He had so much insecurity around it that he made himself not care.
Okay.
He made himself be like, I guess it'll happen to me at some point.
Did you hear that virgin that called in to Congratulations? No. You didn't get that far in the episode? No. It's so good. This girl called in. Congratulations, we always do at the end of every season. And the first season, it was people who had their first orgasm because of the podcast. Second season, it was those on top of people who had an orgasm in a new way, or they did a new first that they were really excited about. This girl was a virgin. She'd already been masturbating because of the podcast. She'd already been coming.
Good girl.
And then one day she was just like, you know, I want to lose my virginity. It's time. And she just went out, went on Tinder, got a guy, fucked the guy. She goes, his dick was the same size as my dildo, so it was all fine. Didn't hurt. Didn't tell him it was my first time. Never saw him again. Fucked another guy the next week and like started her life.
Awesome.
Right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I had a girl who came to one of the live shows, and she was like, I'm a virgin. What do I do? And I was like, listen to the episode. You're going to be so inspired. She goes,
give them my number.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
continue.
I was like,
I'm in New York.
I was like, and did you know that you don't have to tell them? And she was like, no. And I was like, yeah, it's none of their business.
Right. It's not 16 Candles. You're
you-
not in the fucking romantic comedy.
You're
Do
not
whatever
like
you
a
wanna do.
check off of his, like, yeah, I laid a virgin. Like,
Right.
I mean, I would still love to take a view card, but that would be creepy probably at this point.
Yeah, probably. As if everything else we've talked about on the show.
Yeah, I'm a creep, you guys, but I'm doing it for good.
See? She's like Jesus.
Creeps for good.
She's like a Jesus, a clit-centric Jesus.
Both Jewish. Both
You do work
long,
with wood.
lustrous hair. I work with wood.
People keep motherfucking telling me because I'm 33. They're like, this is your Jesus here. Is that an East Coast thing? I've never fucking heard that.
I've never
in my
heard
life.
that.
Oh, this is your Jesus.
Do you want to
here.
hear something funny, though, that you just said you work with wood? So my intern messaged me this morning for how come, and she goes, is there a reason we follow this guy? And it's my friend who's a comic who, like, does woodworking stuff. And she's like, I mean, most of the accounts we follow are great, but, like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, he's been pegged, and I wanted to remind myself to have him on the show. So that's why I followed him. And she goes, oh, yes, he does like wood.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you saying?
Sorry.
What were we talking about? Oh, your stand-up.
My stand-up.
Yeah, I've been fucking obsessed with stand-up for a long time.
Yeah.
George Carlin was my shit. Then I got into Opie and Anthony after Patrice O'Neill died, and Patrice became my absolute favorite of all time. Second would be Colin Quinn, and Bonnie talks about coming out here from not Toronto, coming out here from Canada, and feeling like Janine Garofalo was her like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna meet that chick, and she's gonna
Yeah.
be my fucking friend.
Oh, my God. I have so many people like that I'm
You're the
like, I don't even care about you
You're
anymore.
the first person I'm telling. I think I've talked about it on here, but you're the first person in the actual New York comedy scene. I'm about to share my guts. Colin Quinn's that guy for me. Like I know it's such a douche chill. The douche chills that I feel.
Wait.
But like, I've said this on the fucking show.
Yeah.
If I could have Colin Quinn and Jim Norton, Keith Richards, Keith Robinson, Bob Kelly at the Comedy Cellar just make fun of me, I could fucking die happy. That would be my fucking.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday.
But
That's
I'm a
the
musician.
goal.
I would like to do stand-up,
It's
but
the
I just.
goal.
I,
but if you keep podcasting, you know.
Yeah.
Podcasting is the way to get into comics' hearts, just make us feel special.
Right.
But Colin Quinn actually gave me the best piece of advice I've ever received for stand-up.
Look for a bald guy.
No. I was 18 or 17 or something like that, and I was really drunk downtown by the Cellar. Had not started comedy. I didn't start comedy until I was like 24. And he came out of the cellar, and I ran up to him, and I threw my arms around him. I said, Colin Quinn, you are a legend, sir.
Yes.
And he said, thank you so much. And I said, I really want to start stand-up, but I don't have any good stories. And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. Nothing cool happens to me. And he goes, you have any embarrassing stories? And I said, yeah. He goes, tell those. And that's literally what I've made for my career on, is like this thing I'm the most embarrassed of. The most embarrassing things that have happened to me, because that's like the vulnerable, real shit.
Right.
Nobody cares about your Instagram personality and you looking shiny.
Right.
They care about what your period looks like on day 3.
Oh my God, dude. Honestly, it's such a fucking just having. I'm really grateful you came on the show. Of
course. Thanks for having me.
Podcast. But I mean, how you doing on time?
Oh no, I just have to ask Ben to bring the sex toys.
Come on, Ben, bring sex toys.
Hold on.
Anyway, you can subscribe right now. Down, hit the button, hit the bell if you're listening on YouTube, and you should be because we're very pretty. Also, you can find this new episode every Monday on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere podcasts stream. You'll find me and my wonderful shit. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish or Venmo me. I don't give a fuck. Peter-Feliciano. And Instagram, Peter_Feliciano. And anyway, back to the episode.
Oh. I thought, okay.
Oh, we're okay. We are wrapping.
No, I don't know.
Well, what
Oh.
is Ben?
It's up to you. I want him to bring the right toys.
Okay.
I want things to be given away and women to have orgasms
But
after.
not the ones you've already used.
It's no. But some of my friends are like, those are more useful or more valuable.
Have you thought? There's a lot of Instagram people now who are like selling feet and pictures and titty pics.
Feet's different than something that's touched my vagina. Like I feel like that's a health risk.
We don't care.
I know, but for my like liability.
Yeah, okay.
Thinking with my
right.
business head instead of my dick head.
Well, there are a lot of girls who do send like used panties and shit like that. I don't think you're technically allowed to.
You're not allowed to.
But they get around it some way.
All right. If you want to use sex toy, DM me before you come to one of my comedy shows. Tell me how much you're willing to pay me for it.
I'm so happy right now.
It has to be the value plus my value.
Exactly.
Whatever you think my value is, do not lowball me. Don't fucking lowball me.
Don't be coming up in the club with $40 motherfucking dollars, bitch.
No. And then buy a ticket to the show, sit through an entire stand-up show.
Eat some bacon.
After I know that you're coming and that we have this agreement, we will agree before you come to the show.
You will meet in public.
We will meet in public after the show, and I will give it to you after you Venmo me.
But you can't clean it.
I'm not going to clean it. I'll give you some wipes. Skin is actually sponsoring me now to do some sex wipes or whatever.
They don't want to use the wipes. They want to use.
You want to
other
use
things.
me. So, yes, DM me. Tell me what type of... there's so many I've used that I don't want anymore.
That's awesome.
That still are in great working order. And I'm
Right.
just like, I can't do anything with this. I tried to give one to my sister, and I was like, oh, you can use this. I was like, it's only touched my clit. And she's like, yeah, that's the thing. What are you talking about?
Sisters are weird, dude. That's one of the things dudes... I have 3 brothers.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we, very early, we're not fucking changing in front of each other. Like, girls are just tits out, peeing in front of each other.
My sister and I
we don't do that shit.
never changed. I mean, not when we'd gone through puberty, but I feel like all of my guy friends have seen each other's dicks, touch each other's dicks. Like,
that's some New York shit.
The guy friends at camp would like play that game where
Okay.
everyone would jack off on a cracker and then eat it.
No one actually does that. Limp Bizkit? No one actually does Limp Bizkit, do they?
They do. Or they like...
Did they lie to you about it?
Listen,
was that the same thing
there's
about
different groups of guys. There's different groups of girls. Some of the girls are changing in front of each other. My friend Anna used to change in front of me all the time. I'd be like, put your tits away, man. Doesn't make me comfy. Especially because I'm like probably gay. Like,
have you ever?
I have never had sex with I've had like a threesome. That was the least threesome ever because I was not attracted to the girl. She looked like a thumb. Fuck you if you're out there.
Say her name.
No, she doesn't deserve my shine. You thumb-looking ass bitch. No
What's her
offense if your face looks like a
personality
thumb. Yeah, no, that's the real thing.
That's-
She
yeah,
betrayed
yeah,
me later, so fuck her.
She tried to fuck your boyfriend afterwards.
She did fuck the guy afterwards.
You can't do that. You're ruining threesomes,
I brought
kids.
her in, and then she did it after. And
You were
he
in the
wasn't
circle
my
of trust,
boyfriend,
bitch.
but it was someone that she knew I was
Right.
talking about loving all the time. She knew.
Right.
You know, like that's all our relationship was how much I love this guy and how
Right.
you need to come to this party because he's there and I'm gonna fuck him again.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think I definitely am attracted. I think I'm probably pansexual if we're honest.
Sure.
But a picky pansexual, so like
Right.
I probably won't hook up with most of the people or genders I'm attracted to.
What about like Bailey J?
Who is that?
Bailey J is that trans porn star. She's pretty fucking delicious. But for me anyway, has
So
to be girl,
she-
girl, sudden dick. Girl,
That's
girl.
what she is?
Yeah, that's what she is.
I love
It's
that.
rare. If it's girl, sudden dick. Girl. That's
I love
I can
that.
get on that porn wet. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could really jerk off. I've gotten some head from dudes over the years. It's just not really my thing.
Yeah.
There was some desperate fucking years, and I was
Totally.
like, maybe
this.
And then I remember literally like looking down and being like, "You're not a girl. This is strange." Like I couldn't stay hard certain times,
But at least you
So,
try.
I gave it a try.
Yeah.
I gave it a shot. But
I've always
fucking
said, I won't
Trent
suck your
Reznor,
dick
Dave
unless you've
Bowie,
sucked
I'd
someone
never kick them out
else's.
of bed. You wouldn't suck. Oh, yeah.
No, I just like a more effeminate man, I think. But like a masculine, effeminate man. It's very confusing. I like someone
what
who's
way?
just...
You like let's talk about that definition of masculinity, because I genuinely believe genuine-ass masculinity isn't toxic. Genuine-ass masculinity is
just building a desk.
I'm gonna get in or getting in between you and meth boy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or
being protective. Yeah, I do like that aspect of it.
right.
But also, I like a feminine person who can like understand emotions, who understands their emotions, who's gonna talk about me with my emotions.
Right.
And isn't gonna like my dad was a hyper masculine guy. He's really mellowed over the years. But when we were growing up, like he would yell at us when we were crying, and be, "Why are you crying?"
Right.
And take it as an offense or as
Right.
like I've done something wrong as a father.
And that's not masculine.
No,
Genuine
that's abusive.
masculinity, right? Genuine as masculinity can cry and can share feelings and take care of people. You know what I'm saying? Like genuine. Obviously, we're all figuring it out. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're all like bumpers in bowling. You get a little far to the left, you get hit the wall. Get a little far to the right, you hit the wall. And we're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And we're doing so much better than we have in the past. I think.
And you have to keep having conversations like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all the time on this podcast, but with people with differing opinions.
Right.
And it's not to change their opinions. It's just to understand where the other person's coming from. And maybe their opinions will change.
Right.
But ultimately, it's just really try to understand the person and not make blanket statements about these people, or those people, or whatever. Like, we're all
Unless
people.
they're Chinese. No.
Did you hear that joke on Comedians in Cars?
Oh, yeah.
It was Ricky Gervais
Yeah,
and Seinfeld, and it was so... But I loved that they showed how conflicted they were over it, because they're like, I'm not racist, but the joke seems like an obvious hacky joke to say.
Yeah.
And for that reason, it's funny or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was going through the, mental gymnastics of it, too, and I'm like, am I enjoying this? I'm not sure. And...
See, your whiteness is cracking, and that's good. Your white guilt is cracking.
I'm Jewish. I'm not fully white.
Your Jewish guilt is cracking.
If you like me in front of my ex-boyfriend's friends, oh my God, the things they would say about Jews, I was like, oh, I'm not white at all. Oh fuck.
Yeah. But that's
So I still have that.
I think if you're going for comedy and you're trying.
Yeah.
I mean, on this show, I say all fucking words. I make all jokes.
I won't.
Because people, I try, and your podcast is very different than mine, but I try to imbue a trust in those who are listening. I trust that you get context. I trust that the audience is understanding where I'm coming from.
That is
I'm
very
going for a
respectful to your audience.
It's also leaving myself wide open for a lot of shit.
It's
And I can handle it, I think.
Yeah.
I was born in New York.
I've been like, I wish the way that there are signs, you must be tall enough to ride this ride. You must be smart enough to listen to this podcast or see this comedy show, because you must understand that if somebody makes a joke about rape, we are not telling you to go out and rape people.
Right.
But now, in this time, I've just realized the veil's been pulled back. There's so many stupid people that want to take shit literal. So I'm just not trying to do anything harmful, and I'm trying to really open up my other creative brain, and then mostly I do jokes about Harry Potter now.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's that same thing with the pendulum, that I'm like, all right, we're at a certain place. I don't need to push it any other way. I'm gonna make people feel at ease. That's what I want to do.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. Patrice always talked about
Yeah.
Dane Cook.
Yeah.
Dane Cook, when he was blowing it big, people hated Dane Cook because he's like, well, he's not talking about anything. He's not talking about the pussy and race jokes and rape jokes that we're talking about. And Patrice was always like, no. That's who he is. He is this guy.
He likes
Conan
observations.
O'Brien, right. Conan O'Brien is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But I also listen to George Carlin.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Yeah.
Very different streams, and they're both being genuine and honest with themselves about what they like and about what they want.
Yeah.
That's what matters, I think.
And I think your audience is a good one because they understand intention.
Yep.
Right? So, and that's a lot of it behind it. Like, if you have no racist bone in your body or whatever, and I don't know. Sometimes it's tough. I don't know. But there are some times that I'm like, okay, that person can say that because I know that they don't mean any harm.
Right.
But I do fear for the audience and how they will interpret it sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's something I've heard too before from people saying like, oh, you know, if a guy, but I think we kind of get it in our bellies, like the if you made it to a stand-up stage at the level of a headliner, you've been filtered out. People have the game of stand-up has filtered you out to the point of knowing whether you're a genuine douchebag. Not like, I mean, we all have our douchebag moments.
Yeah.
But like if you're an actual racist,
I mean, I
you're
think
not going to get to a fucking headliner position, I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
Even
because you've maybe had enough interactions with everybody else
Yeah.
in comedy, which is pretty diverse.
Right.
But there are people who have slipped through the cracks. It's very interesting. Well,
I don't even think Kramer is, to tell you the truth. I think Kramer was angry and being childish.
Yeah.
I think he didn't know how to get back at that heckler, so he just was trying to hurt his feelings.
right.
I say, when I'm trying to hurt somebody's feelings,
The
I'm like,
most
you're a doo-doo head.
low-cut thing that you can say
yeah.
to them. Yeah.
Now, was it a piece of shit move? Sure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't imbue. That doesn't denote racism to me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and or it might just be internalized that he doesn't even realize because of how he was brought up or whatever,
Maybe.
like because society is inherently racist, that calling somebody like, is I think it
Maybe.
is. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
I
But
think
I
I
also
think thoughts
there's
in my head
degrees.
sometimes that I'm like, you
Exactly.
check yourself. No, like I've
Exactly.
thought things that I'm just like, oh, and then I'm like, Remy, why would you think that? But then it's what you do afterwards. It's
Right.
like, do you check yourself or do you like, let's lean in?
Right. I think Patrice made it perfect. He said, I'm sorry for constantly mentioning him.
Everybody does.
Every fucking episode.
Everybody
I'm
does.
sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
He was just... Anyway, he said there's degrees. There's racial. Like when I'm behind somebody on the road and I'm angry and I'm in a rush and I go around and I go, Asian, 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 Asian. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want them to have their licenses taken away. I don't think they're
See.
less than me. I don't think... You know what I mean? Like, I have Asian friends who tell me, yeah, like, I'm not a...
But
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, we have to wrap up soon.
Yeah, that's fine. I heard the music.
Yeah, no, I had a similar joke. I don't even heard that one. That's like, whenever I see somebody driving like an asshole, I become immediately racist or anti whatever gender they are. So even if I speed up and it is a white woman, I'm like, fucking white women. As a white woman
And
myself.
it's human to do it.
It's
and
just me
that's
being
what I
like
love.
bad driver, and then also whatever you are, I hate.
Yeah, I think that's human. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
we should let it be willy-nilly to go back to the 50s.
Yeah.
But I'm saying let's be gentle with ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's be gentle with ourselves.
Be gentle with yourselves, you guys.
Because a lot of Chinese people are racist as fuck. A lot of black people are racist. Like, we're figuring it out. We're getting better, you know. Anyway.
And
Thank you
some
so
are
much
not.
for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Where can
if
people find your
You
stuff?
can find me on RemyKassimir.com if you want to look at some videos and sketches and whatever. Come see my shows. They're all on there. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Remy Kassimir. Also, How Come is on all those platforms, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. I have another podcast called We Really Love Island where we recap
yeah.
a British reality show
I'm so
called
glad
Love
we didn't talk
Island.
about that.
No, it's the tits. If you want to watch hot people fucking and then listen to me talk about hot people fucking.
All right.
Yes. All right. Goodbye, you guys. Thank you so much.
Support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish. Find me on Instagram on Peter_Feliciano. Tag, share this, subscribe, and there's going to be
Goodbye.
more music and shit. Thank you so much, Remy Kassimir.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.